You ever come home thinking the worst part of your day is a lukewarm cup of coffee and some kid at the hardware store who thinks he's smarter than you? Then out of nowhere, everything changes, like someone just flipped your world upside down. That's exactly what happened to me one dusty afternoon in Montana, except it wasn't just a bad day. It was a full-on nightmare. I pulled up the driveway with fencing hardware in the back of my truck and a plan to finally enjoy some peace after a long week. But as soon as I rounded that familiar hill and caught sight of my property, every bit of calm drained out of me faster than you can say, "Welcome home." There it was, or rather was. My bridge, the one I built myself back in 2016. Gone. Not gone exactly, more like destroyed. A pile of splintered beams, twisted bolts, planks floating like driftwood in the wind. At first I thought maybe a storm had hit or a tree fell across it. But no, this was deliberate. Neon orange tape, 2 cheap wooden stakes, and a laminated sign that screamed bureaucratic nonsense. Unauthorized structure removed under Silver Hollow HOA visual impact compliance. Below that, in tiny print, something about restoration efforts for community aesthetic standards. Let me pause here for a second. My land isn't part of Silver Hollow, never was. My property lines are older than their manicured lawns and fake golf course dreams. We only share a lake. That's it, or at least that's how it used to be. I stood there, fists clenched, heart pounding, wind slapping at my jacket, staring at what was left of the bridge. That bridge connected my cabin to the alfalfa field on the far bank, land I leased out to a neighbor for tractor access. Now I was completely cut off unless I wanted to drive an hour around the lake. This was my bridge, built legally, inspected, registered. Permits thicker than Karen's ego. Yes, Karen, because of course it was. If you've ever dealt with an HOA, you know what I mean. So I called the sheriff's office first, hoping, praying, someone would treat this like the crime it was. But all I got was, "Sounds like a civil matter, sir. Maybe talk to the HOA." That's when I knew I was on my own. I went home, dug out the paperwork, county permits, surveyor maps, even a thank you letter from the guy who inspected the footings and said it was the cleanest job he'd seen outside government contracting. I sent reports to every county office and every HOA board email I could scrape together, hacking my way through their locked website with a little digital skill. That night, I walked back out to the water, stared at the ruins across the inlet, and thought, somewhere over there, there's a clipboard-toting, agenda-loving control freak with no clue what she just started. Yeah, I already knew her name. Karen, naturally. I'd never met her, but in Montana, you can spot a Karen from a mile away. The next morning, first light, I was at the county office. A clerk named Brandon, mustache like a ferret, confirmed what I already suspected. My permit was valid, no demolition order. What happened was 100% illegal. If anyone had claimed otherwise, they'd have had to file a complaint and wait weeks, not come out with bolt cutters in the middle of the night. That got my wheels turning. Back home, I dug through security footage. Most of my cameras were cut down, but I'd hidden one under the eaves of the boathouse. Old habits die hard. There they were, 2:34 a.m., plain white van, no logos, 5 figures in hoodies and gloves, moving too fast for any legit contractor. And one of them, that kid from the HOA barbecues Karen's son, if I remembered right. I saved the footage on 3 drives, printed stills, and called the sheriff again. This time, a deputy named Linda came out, watched the video, flipped through my evidence, and said, "You're more prepared than half the lawyers I know." Music to my ears. That afternoon, I emailed a notarized affidavit to the prosecutor, the HOA, and everyone who'd listen. The next day, a letter appeared in my mailbox. No return address, signed in black marker by Karen Lance herself. Visual disruption, community harmony, immediate action, no legal citations, no apology, just HOA word salad. I laughed out loud. She thought she could scare me off. Maybe she gets her way with most people, but she picked the wrong retired engineer for this fight. A few days later, I got a syrupy email from Greg Mortimer, HOA Vice President, inviting me to a collaborative resolution meeting. Instead, I showed up with Denise, my attorney and bulldog since 2019. The Silver Hollow Clubhouse looked like a Pottery Barn catalog threw up in it. 7 board members, all beige and bland, Karen in the middle, smile tight as piano wire. "It's not a misunderstanding," I said before anyone could play nice. "You sent a crew to destroy my bridge. That's trespass and property damage." Denise slid our permits across the table. The board's lawyer tried to mumble about shared water and easements. I shot back, "Not when you cross my property line and swing a sledgehammer." Karen finally dropped the fake smile. "Your bridge was an eyesore," she said, "and you treat this place like your personal bunker." "And yet," I reminded her, "you never complained when I fixed the drainage." Her face cracked just enough to know I'd hit a nerve. We walked out, Denise promising criminal subpoenas. HOA money at work, I thought, watching their fountain spray into the wind. That night, a local reporter called, sniffing around for a story. I told him to hold off. A storm was coming, and I wanted it to land right on Karen's doorstep. Next morning, I drove out to the sluice gate. I'd built a reinforced system that controls the whole lake's water flow. I inspected every valve, photographed every detail, then left a notice. Maintenance suspended, pending legal review. I CC'd the county, the state water board, and for good measure, the HOA. Within a day, Karen was back, demanding I fulfill my public duty and accusing me of endangering the community. I replied, "Maintenance was a courtesy. That's ended. Read your own charter." Then things got weird. Some guy in a suit parked by the access road for hours, typing on a laptop. Probably a P I hired by the HOA. Denise laughed. "Let them look. They'll find you're the cleanest guy in Montana." I set up more trail cams, upgraded the locks, filed harassment complaints with the sheriff, and started fielding friendly calls from realtors and contractors. All of them asking if I'd sell or maybe let them help restore my shoreline. Yeah, that happened. Then the rain came. The lake rose fast. Without my active management, the system did what it was designed to do. Overflowed naturally, draining through the emergency bypass right into the Silver Hollow Lagoon. By the end of the week, their fancy docks sat on mud. Spa decks, stranded kayaks, beached yachts, literal beachfront mansions without the water. HOA panic set in, emergency meetings, frantic emails, but nothing they could do. The county told them, "He's within his rights." The news ran a segment, drones flying over the dried-up lagoon, anchors asking who's to blame. Karen went full scorched earth, filed a lawsuit accusing me of sabotage, faked county documents, tried to claim the gate was illegally built. But she'd forged a signature. The county clerk called it out. Denise added forgery to the criminal case, and the DA got involved. Then a neighbor, Mary, quiet, kind, always kept to herself, reached out. She and other homeowners wanted Karen gone, but were scared of her threats. I told her to save every message, just in case. Karen started getting desperate. Town meetings, new committees, claims that she'd take back the lake system. The county hit her with conspiracy charges. In court, Denise laid out every shred of evidence: video, forged docs, maintenance logs, even a voicemail of Karen threatening to take it by force. The judge didn't hesitate. Found in our favor. Karen convicted. HOA dissolved. Property seized. And I got full rights to the lake system, plus a check big enough to rebuild everything 3 times over. That first walk across my new bridge, wider, steel reinforced, timbered to blend right into the landscape, felt like crossing back into my own life. The HOA was gone. Their dream houses up for sale. The land finally quiet. Some folks tried to rebuild their little docks, but the county shut them down. Others sent thank you notes, like Mary, who moved to Missoula and donated to a legal fund for homeowners battling HOAs. Now, every morning I cross that bridge, hear the boards creak, and think about the lesson in all this. You buy land, you work it, you respect it. When someone comes for it with a form letter and a sledgehammer, you stand your ground, not out of spite, but principle. I put up a sign on the bridge now. Only those who don't trespass may cross. People leave coins, take pictures, treat it like a shrine. I don't mind. Let them remember, it's not about fighting for land. It's about fighting for what's right. And when the sun sets over that water, gold across the timber, I know the battle's over. For now, anyway. But hey, whoever said Montana was boring? So, what do you think? Was I right to fight back, or did I take it too far? Let me know down in the comments. Because sometimes justice is muddy, and the best stories don't end with a clean slate, just a stronger bridge.